Good evening, y'all. My name is Rob Simpson. Welcome to Conversations presented by the Prayze Party. And we're here because you asked us to be. You wanted to hear more social issues, issues on race, politics, issues of the day, and we brought it to you. We first started out with the story of vaccinations. Then we went to hear about the Chauvin, George Floyd, the verdict. And tonight we got another V to you. We're talking about victory. These two young dynamic women are going to talk about victory. I'm not going to spoil it. You know what's to come, but I'm going to give you a little flavor about what's in store for you tonight, navigated to you by two of our wonderful hosts, our guest hosts tonight. You'll hear more about it. They're coming to you in a minute. But before we take this break, we want to make sure you see what's in store. Yes, welcome to Conversations. These folks may be familiar to you. They are our hosts from the Prayze Party, and tonight they are our guest hosts on the Conversations. And I know I'm going to look at Corinda K-Love to make sure she unmutes her microphone before she says anything. I'm looking at that right there. But Larnell and K-Love, I just want to say welcome on, baby. How are you folks doing tonight?
Man, I'm great. I'm fabulous. K-Love, how you doing, girl?
She must be fabulous too, although she's muted because we can't hear a word that she's saying.
Well, that's what happens when you're live, and we are live here tonight on Conversations. And I pray that you are ready to receive some information on Conversations about these wonderful dynamic duo ladies that's coming tonight. It's going to be powerful. K-Love, is your mic working yet, girl?
No, she's not. It's not.
She's not working yet. Oh, see, but that's what happens. We tested this. We practiced this. We set it all up, and here comes technology. But that's all right. The show must go on because she's gonna fix it. She's gonna get it together. Let's go on with this. It's just as what it is. Rob, what you got to say from between now and here?
I don't have much to say other than I know that we have two special dynamic guests coming up, and I'm going to take the pleasure of talking about someone that you know pretty well. Our first guest. Just folks, listen to that. Yes, her name is Sydney Satchel. She is a motivational speaker. She's dynamic. She is just a God-fearer. She is a member of the USA national sitting volleyball team, and she is just incredible. And she has a story to tell you tonight. Sydney, what's going on, girl?
Hey, y'all.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to Conversations.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
You know what?
Hi,
we're glad that you're here.
Listen, I'm all as well. All as well.
Good.
For those who don't know, Sydney is my daughter. Let's be clear. There's no mistake in the last name. Yes, there's a kindred spirit there. I do have the
privilege of being fathered by this man. I do.
Absolutely. My oldest. Hallelujah. The number one, huh? My God.
The first installment. My God.
Now that we have number one, we do have number two because we have a guest. Not a Satchel, but there's somebody else in the mix, Larnell. Who's coming up next?
Well, the next young lady is another powerful young lady with a great story. Nikki Nieves. Oh, my God. I love that she calls herself a Jesus lover and a blogger. Did you blog about Jesus? We're going to talk about that. And she's also a part of the USA sitting volleyball, and she has been a part of it for quite a few years, and she's got a great story to tell, and you're going to hear it. So, Nikki Nieves, come on in here, girl. Woo-woo!
Hey, Nikki.
Nikki, did you freeze?
Jesus. Come on through
she
here.
Said her Wi-Fi is cutting on and off. Once again, technology is just jacking us up.
How's everybody?
There he is. There we go. Okay. There we go.
Right, Nikki.
But hi,
I tell y'all.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, yes. Thank you for giving us your Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for giving us everything. And matter of fact, I'm in advance saying thank you for what's about to happen in this next half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. We want you to, everybody, stay tuned. Listen to us. We got some powerful things that's going to happen that these young ladies are going to share. And let's see if Caleb is her time back in.
Talk about powerful. Let's get them on. Caleb, are you back with us?
There she is. There she is.
What's up, everybody? I'm glad.
Oh, all right. Well, she's in. I'm out. But I'm excited by sitting back and listening. Praise God. All right.
Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you and yous for being here. Yous, I said, for being here. Before we go any further, while you're here, do us a favor and subscribe right now. Subscribe, like, share, and make comments. Do all of those things throughout the entire conversations. Even as we're talking, don't stop the conversations online, and you'll never know who you're going to bless by we're being a blessing to you and you being a blessing to us. Amen? All right, great.
And then add some questions into the chat. Let us know how you're feeling. Yeah. We welcome your comments. We welcome your opinions and what you have to say about this.
Great. Absolutely. And we're going to try to get that. If you got a question for one of our guests, we're going to see if we can get them to them as well. All right. Thank you very much. Now, Caleb, tonight is about perseverance. That's the word of the day. Now, before we get started, can you help us and give us a definition so we're all on the same page of what is perseverance?
Well, the official definition of perseverance is a steadfastness in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. So the key words there is steadfast, doing something despite.
And
then we have difficulty, delay on the way to success.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Now, Nikki, let's start off with you. And I guess Nikki's signals out. Sydney, we're going to start with you. Sydney, can you tell us how did your journey begin with perseverance? When we say perseverance, what do you think about that on your journey?
Yeah, so perseverance for me is the identity, or even, that's how you can know that it's a Sydney story, a Satch story, that the perseverance is through and through. So for me, in 2015, January, I was working up in Massachusetts, and it was amazing. Love my time, but I was driving. Situation happened where my car hit a tree, and we are even now I have an amputation as a result of that little car accident that happened in January. The Lord saved my life, spared my life. So grateful. But perseverance happened throughout that experience. The 2 months, almost 2 months in the hospital, the 8 surgeries, 22, my identity as an athlete being questioned, because at that point in time, I did not see a future outside of hopefully coaching, but perseverance is absolutely has been a part of my journey, even before the car accident. Actually, tore my ACL fall season before college, trying to be recruited as a lacrosse player, spent so many hours training to be a lacrosse player, trying to go D1, ACL injury. How do you turn from that? So perseverance in a real sense has been a part of my journey, even from the beginning. So I'm excited to be here to talk about that topic.
We're excited to have you here. So before that accident, you mentioned lacrosse. Were there any other sports where you were active in as an athlete?
Yeah, so full-time athlete. I don't know that there was a season that I had off after 5. Bless the Lord. So it was soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. Lacrosse being the kind of sum of all of them.
The sport of choice.
Sport of choice. I'm sure my father and maybe even my mom would have wanted me to spend more time with basketball, but no, I wanted to be outside, rain, sleet, or snow. We are still playing.
Yep.
Okay, but volleyball was not one of them.
No, listen, I had never played organized volleyball until February 2016. So that is a year after my accident. And the story to how I got to be on the national team now and competing, growing, learning the sport, and loving it is what we can call perseverance. I'm just going to say it, drop that word right there. It is absolutely perseverance, because how do you enter into the Paralympic world not playing the sport and then make it the primary focus of what I have going on right now? I am a full-time professional sitting volleyball player.
Wow, that's powerful. And before we get into that, I want to bring Nikki's story in here too as well. Nikki, now yours is a little different. Now you can share that. Tell us your perseverance. How did your story begin? What is your story like? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my story is a little weird. I was fortunate enough to be born with a limb deficiency, so I have a congenital limb. My mom didn't know it was going to happen like that. I just came out and she was like, "Oh, okay, we're just going to keep on moving." And I didn't know about adaptive sports, so for the longest time it was, "Okay, Nikki, you do whatever you want to do. We support you. Figure it out." But I've never said this ever, but I'll say it in this setting, like always praying for like a miracle. So like,
wow,
for God to like make my hand grow. And of course, like we've always been in church, you go to like conferences or camps and stuff, and I've seen miracles. I've seen, the supernatural happen, God move in all these kind of situations. So for me, it wasn't out of the ordinary for like to pray to be like, "Okay, God, like I believe in you with my whole heart. Like just do something, like just let it come out. Like I'm just waiting." So for a very long time, I waited for my miracle. I waited for God to have my hand grow. And then finally in high school, not that I lost faith, but I was like, okay, well, maybe I should just work with what I have. So I did. I played volleyball. I ran track. And I did field too. And I was a cheerleader, of course. Yeah. And I loved it. I had to stop after high school, but I loved it. And I don't know. I feel like in high school, I kind of like grew with this persona, like, okay, God made me this way for a reason. So now I'm trying to persevere through like the stigmas. So like, Nikki's playing volleyball, but can she block? And till this day, it's still tough. I still have to adjust, but I wanted to be the type of athlete that if somebody benched me or if a coach chose to replace me, it was because they outstatted me, not because of my lack thereof.
Got you.
It was just, I don't know, like a constant battle. And I remember my grandfather, like randomly, I don't remember if it was like junior or senior year, but close to graduating, was like, wow, like to my parents, she's like, she's going to be a blessing to the family. Like she's made this way for a reason. Like God's going to bless her. She's blessed. And in my head, like at that time, I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. Like I'm just playing volleyball. Like, okay, yeah, I'm blessed, like this is my special blessing. But honestly, like throughout, the years, you grow, you learn, you mature. And I really, really feel that I wasn't like, that's not my miracle. My miracle was not for my hand to grow. My miracle was for people to see me and to be the representation. So like for other kids that, are limb different like myself, to see me and to go after it, to see my color and to see me in my position and to go after it. And to be able to minister to other people who didn't believe that something like this could happen or that I could achieve the status that I have achieved, missing a limb and believing in Jesus. Because sometimes people are like, okay, you believe in God, well, how? And I'm like, well, X, Y, and Z, and I have no other explanation for it.
Right.
So it's definitely been, I don't know, a long journey, and I'm still on it now. But I don't know, it's just one of like, this is who I am. Now, how do I like pay this blessing forward?
Now, you mentioned something that's really powerful. There was a turning point in your life and season or time frame where you had to become comfortable with your situation where you're at and with the challenges. Talk about where was your mind at to become comfortable? And that's for you and Sydney. How did you, or what made you change your heart towards what your situation is?
To be honest, probably when I started playing sitting volleyball. And it's weird because I didn't realize how much more comfortable I could be. This was just my normal. And for a while, because I was in traditional sports, I played traditional volleyball, I played Division II. So when they came to me, they were like, oh, hey, like, we see you have an athlete that's missing a hand. We want her to come sit on the floor and play. I was like, there's no way. Like, I just fought so hard to be looked at as one of the other kids, as normal. I don't want to put myself in a box or in a category where people are like, oh, that's for individuals who are born different. And after a while, my dad like convinced me and I went. And honestly, like, I remember crying because I was like, man, how can I be so stupid to feel so like I need to fight these people and make myself to be seen like this one? No, like, I should be seen the way that God wanted me to be seen.
Come on.
The way that I was like made, you know? And I saw a whole bunch of people like popping off their arms and their legs and talking smack to each other, talking smack to me. And on the court, nobody cared what I was missing. It was how I could perform.
Wow.
It was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Like, so legit, it literally was a turning point because now I found a community of people that were like me, people that faced my same struggles, and people that were athletes. There were no like athlete that is, or para-athlete, or any other like addition to it. It was just, we are athletes and this is how it's gonna work. And that's when I was like, okay, this is what it is. Okay.
Okay.
Nikki,
I want to get into that world, but I want Sydney to go ahead. Sydney, go ahead.
Nikki, I had that same experience. Mind you, I'm 22. I just cut off. Well, you know, I just had my leg amputated. And this is this whole new world. My family is very sensitive to my needs. We walk in stores and certain family members are like, stare at my kid. Go ahead, try. You know what I mean? Because everybody is sensitive. I am making jokes. We're at birthday dinner, maybe a month or two after I get out of the hospital. My sister leans over and calls me a pirate. We laugh. Like it was just so many different emotions. And for our family, laughter and comedy is a way that we honestly heal and process what's going on in the best way we know how. And it's really healthy, and it for me allowed me to do that. But when I got to Oklahoma and saw all of these missing limbs, because that's where I went to go train and try sitting volleyball for the first time, it was amazing, because it's almost like when Black people go and see other Black people, it's just something about it.
When you look at each other, you're like,
unspoken rule. You know what I mean? Like,
Which right. Real life.
And so that was very, very new for me, because all of my environment had been very catered to me. And in that environment, no, you own crutches and you carry in your own book bag. What do you mean? I'm disabled. I'm handicapped. I am not able, certain liberties that you take. And so I definitely found a real sameness in and learning this new identity that I was being told about, but had not truly experienced in the world. And so hearing all these stories, the question that I loved was, so what happened to you? What do you mean? What happened to me? I was in a fatal, you know what I mean? Like in a accident that could have taken my life. Just real hypersensitive. And it was like, it's not even about that. People like, I was, a lot of military guys or people who had their leg run over by, and so then you start going like, okay, I understand. So perseverance, I definitely hear you, Nikki. Dad, I forgot what the question was, but I wanted to definitely tag on how sometimes it is healthy to be in a place and in an organization where people have experienced something similar to that, so their story can speak to you, right? Faith comes by hearing, and hearing that of the word of God. We can use that principle to understand who you are and gain strength from other people's testimonies and other people's stories, what they did or did not do. And that has really, really been helpful. And big shout out to Nikki. I don't think I've said it to your face before, but we live, honey.
Say it, girl.
Nikki, I am new to this world, right? And there was something that she had said to me along the lines of, no, like, this is a part of who you are. It's not, Satch, the girl with the amputation, like it is your whole self, and get to enjoy, use it, love it. And it was a part of me that needed that wise person who had been in a situation in the disabled world to be like, hey, I don't know what your family is used to, but this is the life that I've lived. And here's how you get through the comparison game, the dating. Hello, single women. When there are obvious things, it's not just hair and your eyebrows, two different arches. Now we're looking at physical attributes. So shout out to Nikki for being an awesome teammate and an awesome person for that.
So Sydney, and now we Nikki has shared what her disability. Can you share? Because people who don't know you. Can you show a Satch, the other Satch? I know you're Satch, but there's something else. Can you share with the world?
Yeah, I should have been prepared. Hold on.
You should have been. You know your father.
I knew I should have known it. This one has not been named, but I have the pleasure of only having one foot that the Lord gave me. Granted, He gave me both of them. He gave me the means to get both of them. But this is my foot that I wear every day. Yes, I paint my toenails. It's only right. White toes, always. Anyway, so I am an amputee. Yay.
So,
as a melanated woman of color, was it difficult to find a match for this tone, honey?
Have you seen that light-skinned man on the other side of your camera? This foot is as chocolate as Nikki Nieves. Okay. And yes, that is a part of it. When we're talking about diversity and we're talking about being aware and doing something about allowing people to come in certain circles and not just feel comfortable, but be seen and thought of. This past summer, I broke down in tears because it was time for me to get a new foot. And I was not aware that they only, for the most part, make foot shells in 3 colors with the particular foot company that I needed. Y'all, it was full-blown tears because you don't I feel preachy. Get off me. Come on. No, because you really don't know what's around the corner. And so when people are not intentionally thinking about people who don't have experiences or who do not look like you, when you walk around that corner and then you don't see the intentionality or the thoughtfulness of somebody else across the nation who makes these plastic foot shells, and they weren't considering the thousands of people who may be of a lighter skin tone, it hurt me to my core. And you don't know when you're going to need a time to just be you or pray or have a friend that you can be like, hey, today's a hard day. And be allowed to have that hard day. And then talk to your prosthetist. I did not say that other word. The people on the phone. I said prosthetist is the people or the person who makes the prosthetics. For me, it's for my foot and my leg. And so it was very important to have those people to speak to that place. I can't call my mom, my pastor, my best friend, because they don't have those answers. But it's always good to be surrounded by people who have an experience like you, because I am not this chocolate. I'll see that. I got that HP.
You know what, Zach? I will say it's come a long way because I used to have a prosthetic when I was like 5-6 years old, and my prosthetic arm was lighter than you.
Wow.
And I already hated it, but then on top of that, it was super light. And I'm just like, what? And they're like, well, this is the darkest one we have. And I was like, oh, this is miserable. So, yeah, they've come a long way. They just need to find a bunch of shades instead of 3.
But I think that's a world most of us don't know, and I think that's where we need to understand. I know, of course, I know both of you are comedians in undercover, and both of you really, what have you done, or there's a journey or story that you have done to get others comfortable with your disability, your handicap, your prosthetic, whatever the story or the language you want to say, because it comes in all many languages, and people are scared. They don't know what to say. How do you help them get comfortable?
Nikki, you want to go? She's thinking. I can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She over here looking at the stars. For me, when I was early on, and I told my prosthetist that he told me this statistic that most women want to have a cosmetic leg. So our prosthetics, for at least for my situation, if you put your hand in the middle of your shin or the middle of your calf, that's where they amputated my foot. To give you a little visual. And when they make my the socket for my stump to go in, it's carbon fiber, so it's similar to the fabric that the material that they make for cars, right? And most women want it to look like their other leg. So either they spray paint it or they put a cover on it that's almost like either a plastic, I believe it's foam, and you can put freckles on it and you can, test it on to match the color. I said, baby. When people look at me, I want them to see all of this fake bald leg. You hear me? Because it is a part of my story, and I'm definitely not shaming or shading anybody who has chosen different. But for me, I wanted people to see, because it was very difficult for me to make the healthy and the decision that I felt like God was allowing me and pushing me to make, because I did not see any beautiful young Black women in any of the pamphlets that they gave me, in any magazine that they gave me. I did not see myself. It literally took me I believe it was an extra couple of days, because I couldn't see myself. I could not see me on the other side. So how dare I not say, hey, fake leg, fake foot, it's okay. I'm beautiful. I'm living my life. I'm successful. I have a career. I have awesome relationships. So that's for me. That's how I do it. For me, it's a daily walk. It's a daily expression.
Literal walk.
Yeah, for me, when I think about it now, in order to make other people feel comfortable, I had to feel comfortable. So for a long time, I would hide my hand. I'd walk around with my sleeve always down. If I'm eating in a restaurant, my other hand's down. And people would look, and of course, when people staring at you, you're kind of okay, stop staring. But of course, through a lot of prayer and getting more comfortability in it, now I literally don't care. So if I'm at a restaurant, I need to eat, I need to use both of them. With some exceptions, I will not go into a Joe's Crab Shack because I know it's going to take me 10 hours to pack the crab, and I can't do it. I cannot, with that exception. But besides that, I'm just me. I'm using it. Tie my shoes. Can you tie my shoes? Sure, I'll tie a kid's shoe. Because I feel like the more that they see me out with it, the more inclined and comfortable that they feel to ask me about it. Mm-hmm. And with that, I'm like, oh, I can talk to you about it and feel okay. It's kind of like if you were to see someone that's super sheltered or super standoffish, you don't want to ask them any questions. And especially if you're thinking, oh, this might be offensive or this might be off-putting. But I feel like the more comfortable and joyous and energetic you see somebody, then you're oh, okay, well, I could probably ask them. They don't look like they're going to bite my head off. So for me, I'm okay, well, I'm comfortable. I'm cool. My hand is out all the time. I'm sorry if it makes you uncomfortable, but I need it. If you have questions, feel free to ask.
So thank you for offering people to be able to ask. And with these princesses of perseverance, we're going to take a little short break. Sydney has something on the tip of her tongue. I feel like that's right there. And then after that, we're going to go to our break. But thank you for sharing with us the power of the assets that's still in the ability, in the disability, the power of community that helps you through this journey that you're still persevering through, and that how we can be able to be inspired not only by your story, but how we can add to that power and perseverance. Sydney, and then we'll take our short break.
Now, even though we said ask, please, oh heaven, don't come in our DMs, because you ask somebody, hey, what happened to you? Or that is our standard, because that is something that we want to make our lives not as freak showish as they may, because the most people that stare at me are kids usually. But I will occasionally walk by a group of people, adults, and all of them are turning their heads. And sometimes I feel excited and bold to be like, hi, yes. So I lost my leg in 2015 as a way to definitely normalize. But even though we said ask us, I just don't want y'all to be out in these streets asking these strangers, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, how cool. Everybody's comfort level is different, but yes, I want to put out the little warning in that clause. You know what I mean? Safety.
And I guess that's why I asked the question the way I did, because it's really on your comfort level. Then you make others comfortable because you're comfortable. Because everybody else is like, okay, they don't know your story. All they see is disability, and they don't know how strenuous or how extensive the disability in their mind is. So they're like, oh my God, what? And when you're comfortable, you make them comfortable. I know we got to go to break, but I know there's plenty of stories that Sydney has done where she intentionally done things to make people ask questions like, you are crazy, like putting her seat, her chair, putting her foot or leg in a seat belt, or getting her toes done and don't tell the person she has a prosthetic. Yeah, all of those things she has done just to make other people more, I like the word you said, normalize, and because it's part of your normal, it makes us theirs. All right, let's go to break. We got a lot more to talk about. We got a lot more to give information. We're going to talk about the world of Paralympics. Some of you don't know what it is. We're going to get into that. And we're going to really dive into this perseverance and the perseverance of God. Let's go to this break real quick.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here to tell you about the next Prayze Party edition. What's up, Kim?
Hey, what's up, K-Love? May 21st, it's all about the ladies. Yes.
That's right, queens. Come on and wear your crowns and let's celebrate the women. We're going to have a vocalist from New York. She's a powerhouse. Her name is Melanie Daniels.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see her. Who are you excited to see, Kim?
I'm excited to see my sister, Mahogany Jones, undefeated freestyle champion from 106 in Park. She is an awesome MC. I'm excited. Yes.
Hey, and speaking of freestyling, we have Danae Bryant. She's our spoken word artist that's going to spit some rhymes for us as well that night. I hope everybody get your snapping fingers ready.
Snaps on. And of course, you got to get your praise on and get ready to receive from Danielle Owens, our special praise preach for the night. Receive, yes.
Yes, and it's not going to end there because we're bringing back a vet. That's right. The gospel artist herself. She's going to come as a co-host, though. Miss Dana Devine, representing the Chi-Town. We can't wait, and I'm sure you can't wait either. So we hope to see you. Well, we'll have a preacher, a vocalist, a rapper, a poet, Caleb, Larnell, you, your mom and them, everybody in them.
We will see you May 21st, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Get your praise on with the Prayze Party.
Wow. Oh my goodness. The next conversation is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss it. June 4th. It's happening Friday. Mark your calendars right now. Friday, June 4th at 9 p.m. We're having a conversation with the music industry insiders of James Walker, Senior Esquire, and Meta Washington from the Kurt Franklin's Prayze Series XM. They're going to give us the inside scoops. It's volume 1, y'all. What's happening? What's going on in the industry, the music industry? These are two powerhouses that's going to let us know information, understanding, and elevation of our intellect of how can we get more what's happening in the music industry. We're about to help y'all. So mark your calendars. If you love gospel music, or if you love any kind of music, these are people that's going to help you, and you can ask them questions. Ooh, look at that. How about that? So mark your calendars for the next Prayze Party Presents Conversations, Friday, June 4th. Don't miss it.
And if this is your first time joining part of this Prayze experience on the first Fridays of the month, We have these conversations, like you see, being true to the table. The third Fridays of the month, we have live music and live guests and live hosts in our virtual studio. So you mark down your first and third Friday and you put them as a Prayze Friday. We'll either be talking or we'll be partying. So come on, partying in Jesus' name. Hallelujah.
Well, all right, it's time to get back to the information, the conversation, when we're talking about perseverance with these two powerful princesses of perseverance. That's what we're calling them now. Listen, if other people can put names on you, we're putting the name on you. You are princesses of perseverance. Matter of fact, Sydney, can you help us? There's something special about perseverance that I think your alma mater did with that word. Can you help us with that?
Yeah. So this is a lesson to be authentically you and to always be representing the kingdom of God and your family, and to be of good character always. Because I was put in a situation. I went to the greatest university this side of heaven, Howard University, 1867. God bless you. Hello, my fellow bison. I did graduate because that is important.
Yes, it is.
Hallelujah. Anyway, so I went to Howard. I played lacrosse, was very active in our athletic department, made some awesome relationships, and grew there. And after my accident, they were looking to honor one of our athletes with this Perseverance Award. And they were looking for an alum to put their name on the award who was of good character. The AD at the time was new, and so was relying on some of the other staff. And the real story is I was on campus. I sent a text to the assistant athletic director, and I was like, hey, I'm on campus. I want to see you. And guess what? She was hallelujah. She was in the meeting at the time where they were trying to decide whose name to put on the award. I didn't know it. She didn't know I was in town. And I was like, I want to see her. I want to go see this person. And at that time, I saw her the next day, and they said, hey, we want to put your name on this award that will be the second highest award in our athletic department. And I am still humbled. I feel like crying right now because it is the faithfulness of God and the faithfulness of how he has taught me and shown me that being of good character can never go wrong. So I have an award at Howard University in our athletic department. It's called the Sydney Satchel Award for Perseverance. And we've had about 4 athletes to get this award. We have someone who father was brutally murdered in his cab. Very sad story, but his son took some time, came back, graduated, and did an excellent job in helping the people around him graduate, right? We have cancer survived. We have a young lady who survived cancer multiple times, came back, graduated, was still running track. We also have another young lady whose parents died within a year of each other and still was excelling in school, was still supporting her team. So this thing that the Lord has allowed me to survive, to endure, and to push past all of the darkness has also the blessing has multiplied, because now these other student athletes get to be honored, loved, appreciated, and seen for their efforts and for their life of perseverance as well.
Excellent. Caleb, you had a question from our viewers?
Right there. Before that, Sydney's accident was less than 10 years ago. And I'm assuming you graduated from Howard. Was it more or less than 10 years ago?
It was 2014.
So she graduated from Howard less than 10 years ago. Her story and her life trajectory has changed so much, but God used that in purpose to model for others and inspire others whose life could have been so debilitating, but they saw something through her, or the power that she pushed past, and is able to carry that award and carry that chutzpah. Yeah. And the journey ain't over. One hiccup, one accident, one life-changing moment doesn't have to end your story, but it can change and catapult it to another level. And so we thank you, and just want to say, HU, thank you for seeing the This young lady who was still making moves, and these young people who were still persevering and staying in the course. So those who may want to give up, to hold on tight and use these stories to help you just take those next steps. And even if you got to talk to your prosthetist, we learned
there it is
tonight. Before you say it, before you go there, they may not have your shade, but go ahead and walk confidently till your shade is there. And walk. Okay. Larnell, we can get into this next.
Okay, we get to the question now. well, you said there was one from the audience had a question.
It is, and I know we're starting to
do that later. We'll do that at the end. Let's get into this world of Paralympics. And can one of you, Nikki, you could talk, what is Paralympics?
So the Paralympics is, think of a mirror as the Olympics. And I say mirror because I want people to put them in the same arena and the same umbrella and not think of them as like subpar or less than. And they are 2 weeks after the games happen, and it's all para sports. So it's like the biggest athletic stage that you can possibly be on to, represent your country and compete. And you're there for about, I want to say 2 weeks. It feels like forever when you're there. It goes by super quick, but it feels like forever. But I want to say you're there for about 2 weeks competing, and it's the same. So you have an opening ceremonies, of closing ceremonies. You stay in a village. So we stay in the same exact village. What happens during those 2 weeks is they convert everything. So they make it adaptive friendly as far as like ramps, adding more braille, because, you're with adaptive athletes. But yeah, we stay in the same village. We have the same cafeteria, the same little athletic game room, so you could meet other athletes and just kind of like decompress. But yeah, it's literally just, the sister or the brother, the sibling of the Olympics for adaptive athletes.
Got you. And how many Paralympics have you attended?
I've only been to one. So Rio 2016, which it's okay. That was the most important one because we won our first gold medal. And look, God had a reason, because I didn't get to go to London. And, the way that whole situation went down was kind of like ugly. But it's okay because I worked my little tail off. I earned a starting spot. I got to play in the gold medal match. And now we have a gold medal. So.
All right, congrats. We have a gold medalist in our midst. Oh, all right, very good. Now, Sydney, now both of you are on the way to Tokyo 2021. Is that as of right now?
So, do you want to explain it?
Please.
Yeah, so what happens with volleyball, it's a little different. Basketball is the same way. Once you get named to the national team, you're on the team. So whenever they're like, oh, Team USA, that's us, right? Team USA. But it gets down to the nitty gritty because you only have 12 roster spots to take to the games. So each and every pretty much significant event that has, okay, you're only allowed to bring this many athletes, those are rosters. So you can be like, oh, I made the roster for this event. I made the roster for this event. So right now we're currently competing to, for those of us that want to keep our spots, for those that haven't gone, to compete for a spot. And then about a month before, I'm tempted to say even like 2 weeks before we're supposed to go, we get, the final, here's who's going, and we get to go.
Okay.
So basically, we don't know if we go into Tokyo, but by faith, we go into Tokyo.
Say it. I like what Nikki said. I like what Nikki said. Say it again.
Lord. What I'm saying is,
what you saying?
But no, I think it's important to be clear, because oftentimes I get like, I'll see you in Tokyo and things like that. I don't want people to miss the true presence of God through the hard work and the intentionality, because there are 17 people on our team and only 12 get to go.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
I do believe Nikki and I will be roommates in Tokyo 2021, because here's another thing. When you have brown people on your team, you don't have to bring all the hair care products. You don't have to bring all the moisturizers. oftentimes have been found to do Nikki's hair, and she will grease my scalp. Hallelujah. But these are the things that you do not consider when you're talking about team dynamics, right? When you're talking about what does it look like to be a professional athlete traveling to other countries. They're not going to have what you need always. So these are the things. But yes,
Say that one more time.
they will not always, never have what you need. But here's the thing that I'm excited about. When you do see us in Tokyo, now you'll understand that it's not just, they were going. No. We made a roster. We made the roster. Yeah.
So a question I want to ask you about the Olympics in that world. Now you're rated number one.
Wait, hold on.
The Paralympics.
Okay.
The Paralympics. She's correcting me because I keep saying Olympics and it's Paralympics. So I want to make sure everybody understands and get that word in your mouth. They're going to the Paralympics. So when you go to the Paralympics and or matches like that and you're around everybody, can you give us an insight to that world and where you guys are versus everybody else? I think that's important for people to know.
Yeah, so I'll start and then I'll let Sydney give her rendition. So I've been around it for a while, so it's pretty normal to go and to see athletes that are in pretty serious conditions with their limbs, with things that are super minimal. So we are very first worldish, something as simple as clubfoot that someone can go in and get fixed. In a third world country, doesn't work like that. And now you're seeing people that don't have access to prosthetics or to medicine. I mean, you'll see people even walking around with a stick, and I'm not even exaggerating, with their leg almost fully wrapped around that stick, and that's what helps them to walk.
Wow.
Also, at the Paralympics, they have doctors there on site, and they also have a prosthetist, which Team USA is not allowed to go to because we're privileged. Like, we have all of this. We have access to this back in our country. So you'll see the doctor and the prosthetist just lines every single day because people are trying to get in there. And then, I don't know, like, I feel extremely blessed to be American. I know America is not perfect. We still have a lot of work to do. Preach. But in terms of, like, being blessed, I always feel blessed whenever we go somewhere and I'm able to see other athletes, because you see athletes in wheelchairs with, their legs just completely, like, turned into each other, or, I don't know, like, amputations gone wrong. So, someone like Satch, when she got amputated, where it's a clean cut, it looks smooth, it looks pleasing to the eye. Other people in different countries don't have that resource or that luxury. So it's a little, it's different. So just as somebody would look at me different here because I'm missing a hand, it's different for, an American to see it. And then on top of that, out of the entire para world, I feel like sitting volleyball is the most able-bodied out of all of the sports. And I say that because I'll give like a guesstimate, maybe 95% of those who play sitting volleyball come from volleyball. So they've played traditionally and then made the transition to sitting volleyball. And on top of that, we're athletes who can get up and walk, can get up and run. We're walking up and down stairs. We don't need ramps for wheelchairs. If the elevator's taking too long, we just walk down the stairs. If a point's really good, I'm usually the first one to jump up and be like, wow, and jump in the air because I have my legs.
Right.
But then you see all the other sports and it's not like that. So I definitely feel like, man, like I'm a para athlete, but in that world, I don't even feel that way because I'm so extremely blessed. And I'm walking around. I need to see something. I see something. I need to walk up the stairs. If I need something to help me adapt, it's because I chose to, not because I needed it because there wasn't the resource for it when I was young.
Got you.
Man, let me tell you what Nikki did to me.
Tell the story. What happened?
Y'all on your phone, your laptops, or your television, come in close. Dad, too much. So I had the opportunity. So I have not been to Paralympic Games yet. soon come. But I did have the pleasure to make the roster for the Pan American Games in, where were we? Peru. Summer 2019, right? So I'm excited. My teammates are like, hey, Sat, so excited. This is your first time being exposed to like other sports, other athletes. This is like the mini Paralympics. I'm like, woo, woo, woo. My dad knows that I have, from the very beginning, have an eye situation. It's not medical, but it is real. I stare, and so I have an observation situation going on with me, I love things. And even if you look at me and I'm not done looking at whatever I'm looking at on you, I oftentimes don't look away. I'm working on it. And so I'm in this Paralympic world. Mind you, I have an amputation. Yes, I'm around other volleyball players who have lost limbs, but I am still fresh baby on the scene of the Paralympic world. We go into the calf. Nikki hits me like your mother hit you in the church when you're talking too much. She hit me and told me to stop staring. I said, you didn't tell me that it was going to be like this. Man, I'm serious. And I, like Nikki said, the privilege of it all is very apparent. We have one teammate who had a club foot. No, what's the right term? Club foot, which is basically your foot, you
turned around backwards, right?
It's kind of like in, right? And so one of our teammates, she had a surgery. She walked. She almost got recruited to Baylor. Well, she got recruited to Baylor, and she got recruited to Baylor, a top volleyball program at the time, and still is. And so that was her trajectory, right? So clearly that injury, that birth, the thing that happened at birth did not affect her. But you see people with the other injury, with that same injury from other countries in a wheelchair and things of that nature. So you definitely see the privilege. But when I tell you, I was amazed at some of the things that these people in wheelchairs can do. I watched our USA men play wheelchair rugby. I was like, man, this is exciting, because for me, I was where you are. I was the one, even though I have an amputation, my mind and where my mentality was where you are right now. Like, you play volleyball, but it's not in a wheelchair, so you scoot? I'm confused. You know what I mean? So it took some time. It literally took the entire trip for me to understand that, one, I may have an amputation, but even in the inside, I don't feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. So there's a little identity crisis in there. And so that is a process that, even though you may be struggling with whatever your ailment is, and you may be in the same appointment waiting room, you're like, man, we all here to see the heart doctor, but something about what y'all look like or what I look like is different. But it was such a great opportunity when I got to talk to people. Wow. And that really saved it, because I'm telling you, when a blind person tells you you are ugly, it's different.
Oh, God.
Oh, just saying.
So what you're saying, a blind person told you was ugly? We got time for that story? Oh my goodness.
Hold on. That's not my story to tell.
Okay.
However, I just want you to know, when we talk about beauty, though, whatever their version is, if you got an ugly voice or whatever it is, those are the type of things that we don't think about, right? Because immediately you like, how I'm ugly. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff they me. But no, it's truly amazing what happens when you open, when I went there, and it did. I was able to learn so much about myself and the world that I so often was talking about, but was still fresh in. So shout out for Nikki to give that little church hit, to hit me, and she had to hit me a few more times, but it was really cool. It was a great experience.
Wow, that's funny. That's hilarious, actually. Now I want to get it back into, okay, Nikki, I'm going to ask you a story. Ask you to answer something for Sydney, okay? Because you guys are friends and you guys are good friends, right? So y'all know a little bit about each other. Tell me, what is now? Nikki, you're going to ask for Sydney, and Sydney, you're going to answer for Nikki. What is she working on now? Nikki, tell me what's the future, or what's Sydney working on now and for later? And then Sydney, you ask the same
like
question.
Outside of athleticism, like just
however, whatever it is. Yeah, just in life.
Oh, okay. I'll give you both then. Sydney is working on her own goals as an athlete instead of comparing herself to other teammates, because it's about what she is doing and how she is getting better, because if they have a bad day, it doesn't make her any better. She's working on her personal athletic growth. She is also working on making her way to a screen near you sometime soon. Look, God is blessing my girl. So, you might see her on the screen sometime soon. She also is in a leadership position at her church. So she is just leading people on their journey, like carrying their cross. So every, is it Tuesday or Thursday? I feel like I hear you 2 nights, because I always have it 2 nights. So I was hearing you.
So that's her place. The place of faith is Sydney's church. Big shout outs.
Yes, and she leads the prayer team, and she gives them Bible study. Super awesome leader. Very attentive, very loving. She's just, I don't know, she's like making her way into being like this powerhouse that God wants her to be. So.
Oh, all right, powerhouse. Okay.
Yeah,
Sydney, your turn.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me reintroduce you. This is Nikki Nieves. She is a gold medal wearing Paralympian. She also.
You don't have it with you? You should have told you to have medals so people can see it.
My bad. She is a gold medalist. She also just graduated with her bachelor's last weekend from FIU. Big shout out to my girl. And if that wasn't enough, she, in her heart of hearts, her giving, intentional, loving heart, she has created her own nonprofit called Limitless People. Go check them out on all of your social medias near you. Donate. I see my teammate actually doing the work, allowing her gifts, her passions to inspire other people to be limitless. She goes to other countries. She serves in our country. This woman is literally doing it all, and the world is taking note for sure.
Wow!
So
wow!
Nieves.
Wow, that's real powerful. And I really appreciate both of you ladies and what you have shown us, what you have shared with us, and your perseverance story is not over. That's why I like to hear, well, what else is going on? Because perseverance, is there an end to perseverance?
No.
So it's a lifelong journey. And that's I read can I answer the question that the person had really quickly?
Sure, you can.
And I think that's the process of even if it's not an amputation, right? Maybe if you have chronic headaches, maybe if you do have, lymphoma or whatever the situation is, I encourage you to find your beauty, your confidence, right? The Bible talks about there is a time and a place for all things. He will withhold no good thing from you. And so because not even God, but because you're going through this, consider that there is an opportunity for you to share the good news of Jesus Christ to somebody else. But if you are not there yet, my brother, my sister, know that he still loves you. He literally cannot love you any more or any less than he does right now. Whatever you're going through does not take you out of the running for being the next president of this, being the next owner of that, being the next friend or leader. Wherever you are, you can make a difference. You don't have to wear USA on your shirt. You do not have to have a nonprofit like Nikki, and you don't have to have a stage to speak on. But if you are a teacher in your classroom, you can say, hey, I struggle with eczema, And this is how I'm loving myself today, because you just don't know who's in your classroom, who's listening, and who you can inspire.
There's one more thing, and thank you, Kayla, for coming back. But there's one, and we got to wrap it up soon. But there's something that Nikki said, and I want to go back to. You mentioned it, Brooke, and I really want to dig this out. Now, you said, Nikki, and I know Sydney has said it as well, and I want to put it in the atmosphere right now that everybody hear me and hear them. That you guys said you're waiting for God. You're in the faith position of God to bring back your limbs. Now,
hold on.
Now I don't want to go deep into this, but I want to put that in atmosphere. Sydney, are you still waiting? Are you still looking for God?
I'm sitting in expectation.
Nikki, where are you at?
I've come to realize that this is the way that I was supposed to be. And I say that because with all of the blessings and how, like, my blessings I might cry. My blessings keep pouring in daily. And for me, and I even told my mom, I was like, had I been born with two hands, I don't think my life would have gone down this path. I don't think I would have been able to meet the people that I met, to be able to minister to the kids that I've been around, to coach the kids, to speak to strangers on the street about how good God is, regardless of where I was or where I've come from or how I was born. So now I'm at the place where I'm like, okay, I was expecting that, but it's his will, not mine. And I'm pretty sure that his will was for me to be born this way. And I am completely okay with that.
I love that.
Which is a story of Sydney's, and I'm gonna end it with this, and we can go into your last final segments of you guys and say about perseverance. Sydney's first cousin, said to her while she's still on her bed, struggling and dealing with this in the hospital, said to Sydney, this is the kind of family we have, y'all. She said, Sydney, God put this on you because I can't go through something like that. There's the reason why you're going through something like what you're going through, because you can and I can't. We're first cousins. We're only about 25 days apart from each other, and you have what it takes to go through, not me. And take that on, everybody who's listening to me. The reason why you're going through is because you can. That's the essence of perseverance.
And don't underestimate the power of your journey, of your struggle, of your triumph. Lady, so much for your transparency. So people see the humanity and the power that can come through that, and the power of perseverance. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
So Cindy and Nikki, what is your last thing? If you want to help somebody, pour into somebody, and you each got a minute each to perseverance, encourage somebody real quick. Whoever wants to be first and second.
I'll go first. If you're gonna do something, do it with your whole heart. Not every day is not promised. You never know if you're gonna wake up tomorrow, and waking up and doing something, just lackadaisical and lazily is kind of like saying that God owes you another day to do what you need to do, or God owes you, more time to get the job done. No, go do it with your whole heart. And God is not a liar. When he said it in the Bible that you are beautifully and wonderfully created, he is not a liar. So if it means you got to read it every day to yourself to help you understand and grasp it, read it every single day to help you understand and grasp it.
Wow, that's powerful.
My encouragement to all of you is to celebrate your journey. I don't want us to get so caught up in celebrating, our nephew graduated from here, so-and-so's getting married, without celebrating each little step in your journey. If you drank your water today, celebrate it, acknowledge that. If you have been able to incorporate vegetables in each meal, that was your first water bottle today. I want you to celebrate your journey, because
you don't know my journey.
I don't, but the Lord is absolutely pleased when we are thankful and bring gratitude to the world and share that. So celebrate your journey. You can do it. Each step is vital and important to where you are going and where God is taking you.
Thank you. Now, where can people find your journey? Where can they find you on IG? Because we want people to follow you.
You can find me everywhere at Sydney Satchel, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I believe that is it.
Same.
And your website?
Oh, sydneysatchel.com. Feel free. Yes, ma'am. Learn more information. Booking information is there. The full length of my story is on there. Please check it out.
Same for me, Nikki Nieves. Everything's on there, as well as like the little link to my nonprofit, and my blogging website is lifeasnikki.com. So yeah.
Excellent. Ladies, we are appreciative, and we thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
your journey with us. And we're glad to be a part of this segment of your journey. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are praying for your journey for Tokyo, that you will be successful and you will come back with the goal. Hear what I said, come back with it. That means you have to go to come back with it. I think there are a few people that's waiting to see you at the White House just when you come back. I believe there's a few people that's waiting for you. But thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for your comments. For everybody who made their comments, we didn't have time to ask them questions, but we're going to make sure that our guests see the comments and they can view it. We appreciate everybody who made a comment about it. Thank you. Caleb, you want to make your last comments or say anything?
Just take these words to heart, and when you need encouragement, replay this video. Share it with somebody else who is going through their own struggle. We all get stuck sometime, but we don't have to stay there. So thank you, ladies.
Amen.
Less of that. Let's persevere on. For those of you who are watching this first time, we have another show coming up next month. Larnell?
Next month is June 4th is our next, let's do it this way. Every first Friday is Conversations. Every third Friday is Praise Party. Now let's talk about conversation. This conversation, the Music Industry Insider, Volume 1, with James Walker and Meadow Washington from the Kirk Franklin's Prayze. You know, you hear on Sirius XM. You're going to be here to get inside juices and information of what's happening about the music industry. If you can sing right, or you want to know about it, and you want to know what's going on, we have these great powerhouse people that's going to help you get some great information and then can give you great insight. Don't miss Conversations. We bring the truth to the table.